It's now sorry I'm late. I'm afraid the show's going to be delayed for a further 10 minutes. So in that time, I'm going to act as your warm-up man, okay? It's my job to get you feeling nice and relaxed and fully responsive to the show, because this show is going to demand an awful lot from you. There's going to be a lot of clapping, a lot of shouting, a lot of laughing, and quite a bit of knife throwing. So obviously, as less tension as possible in the audience. As I say, I'm going to act as your warm-up man, and I'm going to take you through a few warm-up exercises. And they're all going to come from this book, which is the Shape Up and Act with Stanislavski audience workout book, okay? Written by the man himself, Stanislavski, who, as you all know, was the chief of police in Streets of San Francisco. Well, the first exercise we're going to do is a very simple one. It's breathing, okay? Very simple. I will just do it once. If you're not sure about it, then you can always practice at home. Breathing on your own or in someone else's. Very simple. I'm going to count to 3. Obviously not settled yet. I'm going to count to 3, and on 3 I want you to breathe in like so, and hold. Okay? 1, 2, wait for it. 3, breathe in, and hold, and breathe in again. Sorry, what happened there? I think 1 and 2 of you are trying to be a little bit cocky. And we're trying to incorporate breathing in with breathing out. Right, so if you don't mind, we'll do these exercises one at a time. Otherwise it'll be chaos, okay? So just try that again. 1, 2, 3, breathe in. And hold. Right, we'll go on to some vocal pretend I didn't hear that. We'll go on to some vocal exercises now. And the first exercise we're going to do is called the audience tut. This is the sound that you are to make at any late comes, okay? It's very simple, it's just... Okay? So I want a good, short, sharp, staccato tut from the back of the throat. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Okay, now you may find that there's a bit of noise in the audience, right? There may be a inventive giggle on. Someone rustling sweetie paper, or you're at an avant-garde production and an actor is saying something meaningful about the audience alienation, like by setting a light to your neighbour's nasal hair. Could be anything, There's a lot of noise. You want to stop it, so you give the vocal combination known as the tut and shush serve. Right? That's a tut thrown into the air, and then immediately backed up with a shush volley. Shush. Shush. Let's try that, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, how about this side of the audience? 1, 2, 3. This side. 1, 2, 3. Everyone in the back. 1, 2, 3. That guy there. Very slow learner there. Thanks very much. And what's your name? Keith. Keith. Well, thanks very much. That did quite well. You may notice that in every performance these days, there's always someone in the audience who's picked out by another. He's either brought up onto stage, generally something embarrassing or indeed dangerous is done to him, or is just insulted in the audience. And I have a funny feeling that tonight, that's going to happen to someone here. And Keith, do you have any idea who's going to Well, quite correct actually, because one thing you must never do as an audience is be complacent. Because tonight, that person is going to be you. So, can I have your name please? please? David. Right, David. Well, while we've got time, I'll just train you for this role, okay? Because you tonight are going to be the stooge, the fall guy, the brat. I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. That's just a term used traditionally by performers to describe the idiot that they become. Okay? So what I want to do is, I'm going to point at you, and every time I point at you and shout your name, David, I want you to shout back, why do you keep picking on me? Okay? Will you do that for me, David?
Why do you keep picking on me?
Right. We're now going to do a few more. We're now going to do a few more vocal exercises. This is the section known as the audience response. It's been quite a cool day today, hasn't it? Right. You saw what happened there. I asked a question, I expected an answer, and all I got was. So that's no use to me, okay? I want a good, solid yes, straight from the diaphragm. Right? Ask that question again, see how it goes, and then progress on to a few harder ones, right? Well, it's been quite a cool day today, hasn't it?
Yes!
Actually, be loud now. Are you all having a good time?
Yes!
Friend from Oxford in this evening?
Yes!
Complete the title of the bullet well-known comedy series, Blank Prime Minister?
Yes!
What are the 25th, 5th, and 19th letters of the alphabet spell?
Yes!
What is the Russian word da in English?
Yes!
Philosophy now, is man's freedom curtailed by moral imperatives?
Yes!
Isn't your approach just a bit simplistic?
Yes!
In the popular children's program, The Mr. Men, what was Mr. Affirmative's catchphrase?
Yes!
Close to the Edge was an album hit for which mid-70s rock band?
Yes!
And for 2 bonus points, can you name me their bass guitarist?
Yes!
I think most people lying.
Yes!
In fact, I think it's true to say that many were familiar with the name of Chris Squire, isn't that correct?
Yes!
In fact, you're just shouting yes to everything I say.
Yes!
Well, life's not like that, I'm afraid.
Yes!
That wasn't a question. Tony Gubba.
Yes!
Marie Osmond.
Yes!
Tony Gubba with Marie Osmond.
Yes!
You're perverts or something. Well, I think I picked that up. That was fairly impressive. Would you agree? Right. Now this section, the warm-up, is the role-play section. Okay, I'm going to give you a character. I want you to think about it, develop it, respond, and we'll get a bit organic, okay? And that character I'm giving you tonight is that of an audience. Not too tricky now. An audience not at the Burton Rooms on a Tuesday evening in Oxford. Instead, I want you to think of yourself as an audience in the upper circle of the London Palladium. At the opening night of Ken Theft's capital Showtime. 5 minutes to go, and you get a bit excited. Let's have 3 seconds of excitement. Okay, I want this section of the audience to play the part of someone who's kept aside a seat for their friend, okay? Your friend hasn't arrived, there's 1 minute to go, you're getting nervous. Let's have nerves. I want everyone at the back to play that friend. I want you to come in and shout, Margaret, where are you? 1, 2, 3. Margaret, where are you? I want you all to see your friend, put your hand in the air and shout back, Gooey, over here, Natasha. 1, 2, 3. Gooey, over here, Natasha. Not a lot of noise, you're offended by this noise, you give them the duck and shoot sound. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's do that whole scenario. Let's get organic now. No interruptions for me. Starting off with the nerves. Margaret, where are you? Gooey, over here, Natasha. Brilliant. Consider yourself collectively on screen. Okay? Now, complete change of scenario. You're all playing one person. Just around at the back, you've got seat ticket number A5. It's a good seat, it's right in the front row. You're feeling smug. Let's have 3 seconds of smug. Just pass you, thank you. You make your way towards the front. You move into the front row, you cycle in, but you can't sit down because some inconsiderate bugger is in your seat. And what makes it 10 times worse is it's David.
Why did you pick up?
And you're getting angry. Let's have 3 seconds of anger. Let's have 3 seconds of where's the manager? Where's the manager?
What seems to be the problem?
Let's have 3 seconds of this. Somebody sitting in my seat. There's somebody sitting in my seat.
He does have a valid ticket. There appears to have been a computer error.
Let's have 3 seconds of error, Schnerr. If you don't give me a seat, then the computer's going right up your back gate. Okay. I said just 3 seconds. Okay, you're getting angry. You look at David and you think to yourself, what a puny specimen. Just thinking of my You tell the manager you're going to count to 3. If after 3 he hasn't been removed, you are personally going to pick him up, throw him over the balcony, where he will plunge headlong to a needless, unnecessary, and bloody death. You begin to count. 1.
Oh, please don't throw my clientele.
2.
I've got 2 free tickets for chess if you're interested.
Oh, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're right out of time. Just one further exercise to teach you that's loud, clapping and cheering for the start of Ken Theft Capital Showtime. Thank you, I love you all, and would that there were time for me to stick my tongue in the mouth of each and every one of you. But there isn't time for these small gestures of affection. For tonight, I wish to discuss the sound of laughter. A sound which will pepper this evening's show the way black olives pepper a pizza del quattro stagioni. This laughter, those 3 golden syllables of hilarity. Ha, ha, which hang above our lives like a very pawnbroker's sign. This triad of buffoonery, this jolly trinity, this yin and yang, I don't know what, presumably yin again. What is it that makes us laugh? Is it the unusual bear? The unexpected? You have got bad breath. Or the surreal? Look! Irony! Ah! Whatever it is, we all carry about with us our many comedic memories. I have been performing here for 10 minutes now, and over those years I've had many happy times, and I'd like to share some of them with you tonight. So come back with me, back in time, and watch me sugar about a bit like a and pretend that this is a flashback. And there you see me now as a child, sitting at home alone, listening to a 78 recording of an old goon show.
This is BBC, it's the Moon Show. Hello. What was the Moon Show?
That was a recording made in the old days when comedians used to broadcast with their hands over their mouths. I listened to all my favourites then, Tommy Trinder, Jimmy Jewell, and of course, Federico Fellini, who's moved on since then. We never listened to Jimmy Edwards because Farah said it was shite. Farah was a wise, laconic man, often given to speaking in terse sayings and proverbs. He would say to me things like, son, if God had meant us to be happy, he would never have made Jerry Beetle. Son, never trust a man who tucks his jumper into his trousers. Son, what is the future but history in reverse? Son, it may be the sparrow who nestles in the tree, but it is the giraffe that has the longest neck. Son, stop slicing my tongue off with that carving. Times were hard then. My father was forced to seek employment by working in a greengrocer's shop, where he worked all day as a potato. Until one week, he got the sack. Jokes were very bad then. And I was determined to do something about it. I wanted to become a comedian. So one day I decided to leave home.
We'll miss you, son, but before you go, I'd just like you to have this.
What is it, Dad?
It's a twitch.
Used to belong to your grandfather. And so, my grandfather's twitch in my top left breast. Carrying 2 battered suitcases. I set off down the highway through, straight past the traffic lights of good fortune. I was lucky I landed my first comedy job. It was a small part. I was playing at the Liverpool Hemorrhage Theatre in Ipswich as the straight line in a David Trinder joke. What's brown and white and runs up and down a clothesline with a plate of mince on his head. I was lucky the joke transferred to the Gilded Head in Brentford, where I was often the part of the punchline. A seagull with a plate of mince on his head. However, I wanted to go into music hall. So one day I went along to audition for Capital Showtime. I remember, as I arrived, the auditions were already in full swing. Right, can we have the next act, please? Good evening. I am Memorodini. I am Memory Man. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I begin my act this evening by remembering who was it I bumped into yesterday morning. Please. Ah, see, Maria. And now, I remember what it was I had for my breakfast. Please, thanks very much, Mr. Memorodini. I think we've got the gist of your act. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, I should start that one again. I spit in the face of death and based mucus onto the visage of terror. For I am the great Flemdini. And tonight you will cower in fear as you watch me swallow my own saliva. Thank you very much. It has gone. But where can it be? Aha! This young gentleman looks a bit wet behind the ears. Let us see what is there. Next! Excuse me, is this the right place for the auditions? Yes. Oh, lovely. Only I wasn't too sure reading the sign. I'm afraid one of my contact lenses is trouble. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is gets people to hold a small object between the lips, then knocks it out by throwing various things from a distance of 30 feet a D. Well, here's a small object. This match here. Ready, brave, willing souls to put it between the lips. Why don't you choose me? Danger is my middle name. Okay, right. Just come over here. I'll just put the match here. And here's the dangerous implement. This brick. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the match at you. It'll miss you. Sorry, I'm throwing the brick at you. It'll miss you. Just skate past the match, but strike it and let it lie, okay? Do you want me to go over that in any manner or form again? No? Oh no, just hurry up. Chuck us a brick, will you? Okay, right. Just take it. I'm not too sure what the best throwing position for this is. Children have done this before. Oh, Luke! You've moved! Get back there!
2, 3, ah!
Sorry. Don't worry.
Don't worry, but it will heal. Next!
Before I go, bring back these. Oh, it's a bit of a lucky charm. Very nice. Next! Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Theft. Hello. I'm an impressionist. I impersonate Scottish football team. I'm willing to take suggestions from the audience, but bear in mind that Scottish Division 2 is my speciality. Any suggestions? Ladies and gentlemen, my impression of Cowden Beach.
And his amazing propositions.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yes, my name is Rupert Wittgenstein, famous various philosopher and king of swing. These crazy things here are my propositions, okay? And together we are going to blow your minds apart into the smithereens. Because tonight, we will recreate for you the era of the 1960s. A little bit different, yeah? You remember the 60s, a decade of lost innocence with the free love, and the tambourines in the hair, the Billy Hopkins on the string, the man in the suitcase, and the Simon Templar, and the beach baby, the answer, where is it, it's blowing in the wind. That will all be recreated for you this evening with this, my first proposition from the philosophical investigations. It's all coming back to you now, huh? Oh, well, I'm sure I know it. It looks at first glance that it's got nothing to do with the subject, but I think if we say it all together, then you will see what I mean, okay? So I will say the top half is the meaning of a word, and then I want you all to join in with the second half is its use in the language, okay? And together we get all happy and groovyless, okay? 1, 2, 3, hit it, boys! The meaning of a word is the language. You big fat mama shook that. Okay, well, what we do is we really turn up the hot potatoes now. Is this next proposition a much harder one? Proposition 4.32 from the Tractatus Philosophico-Logicus. Okay? This one is much harder. This one sums up for me the end of the 1960s. The years of disappointment. Getting up to stop. And the protests and the riots and the wars in Platoon, the marching of the Black Luther King, and everyone singing, we are saying, is give us the peace. This is the end, my friends, the end. And everyone running around going, oh no, in 2 years' time we will have to be wearing the sideburns. There is a limit to my act. Okay, so I give you two is this one, what we did is the last proposition. I say the first half is together with this anatomic facts, and then you all join in with the second half. 1, 2, 3, hit it, boys, with the existence of anatomic facts. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm so sure. What do you mean that is all? I have another 432 propositions here. The 60s were a complex era. I'm sorry, I'll have to go. Next! What is this with this next? The only way you can get around something you do not understand is by shouting the name of a famous chain of clothes manufacturers. It's the same wherever I go. Nobody likes Ludwig Wittgenstein. 1,
One day you will hear from me, and then you'll be laughing through that smile at the other side of your face. Good night. Next! Hello, I'm the comedian. Where do you want me to perform my monologue? If you could just stand here and do it. Okay.
And so I auditioned at Capital Showtime and got the part. I rejoiced in those music hall days. I carried many happy memories with me of many wonderful characters. Characters like Brian Hemingway, brother of the famous American novelist Brian Steinbeck. Characters like Jimmy the Bastard Arbroath. Jimmy was a bit of a practical joker, and one night he tried to distract my attention on stage by dropping a 17-kilo bag of sand onto my temple. I carried on with the performance. But several days later, Jimmy called round to my dressing room with a bottle of whiskey, and we had a good giggle over the photographs of my severe spinal injury. My lucky break was to come in 1973 when I was asked to team up with Derek Guyler. Several of his TV series. I performed in 3 series with Derek. Over to Guyler instead. Derek Guyler's got a bit of it somewhere. And he often misunderstood. Derek's dead. In 76. Working with Derek was a wonderful experience. He was a great performer. He could only say one line, which was, "Oh, yes." Oh, yes. But he always performed it brilliantly. By the end of the 70s, however, I decided to start out working on my own. However, I soon had difficulties working together and problems coping with my own personality. And in 1981, I split up. I went into broadcasting, but I now have a full-time job appearing in program credits as Jimmy Savile's OBE. Meanwhile, I carved out a new career for myself in the London cabaret circuit, where I perform as a comedian specialising in comedy of social observation. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You've been a terrific audience. Okay, right. Have you noticed? Okay, have you noticed how everywhere you go, there is always, in every car park and piece of waste ground, there is always an upturned supermarket trolley. Have you noticed that? Hey, it's funny, isn't it? Hey. Now, how did they get there? I think we ought to be told. I think we ought to be told. They don't get there by themselves, do they? You don't see supermarket trolleys going down the high street saying, that looks like an RSP. They come down to the high job there for a bit. No! I'm happy. People took them from supermarkets, loaded their cars up from them, and then left them there. And then maybe the wind blew them over or something. And another thing. Have you noticed? Everywhere you go, there is always oxygen. Now, how did that get there? It's funny, isn't it? Isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, you've been a terrific audience. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thanks very much. That's very good. We'll book you for the start of the show. Okay, can we clear the stage, please, so we can rehearse the next number? Cue the music and the lights. Over to Paris now for the latest in fashion. And here's a craze that's set to take off. Walking. Everybody's doing it. From international models to your local milkman. Let's see the spring collection of walks from our team of young designers. What's this? You don't see many of these around now, do you? It's that old-fashioned Bobby on the beat walk, armed with 1950s plastic truncheon gesture. And not much use against inner city riots. Acrylic eBay. This walk has been completely restyled for the 80s. Okay, freeze. Don't make a fucking move or I'm pissing you guts. Note the influence of American design. Although it still retains the charm of the English original. Evening. Girls, do you remember this one? It's back to the 60s with the sexy mini walk. That's a bit too daring. Then try this one for size. More modest than the mini, this walk stops at the knees. Don't ask me how they get your tights on now. From the swinging 60s to the style of the 70s. Back in favour, it's the young generation walk. If you've got a flair for it, then get up and perambulate. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. And on to children's wear now. Here's a walk for all 5-year-olds out shopping with mum. If you're feeling a bit radical, then try this one. The anarchist's walk. Next comes a walk for all those suffering from incontinence. Here's the walk the invisible man likes to wear around town. On his day off. Give him this walk to try his back out. I'll mark it now, and I wonder what walks we'll be seeing at this year's Oscars. Here's one prediction. And if after receiving one Oscar you've just held your one star, you might like to try this one. You might not come back for a third. And how's this for a three-piece walk? 3 men walking down the street, realizing they've forgotten their wallets. First, the ordinary man in the street. Second, a man in a silent movie. Thirdly, Marcel Marceau. Oh no, I left my wallet on. And now we leave the Paris Walk Show with a touch of the classics. An actor from the Royal Shakespeare Company fetching in the milk. In the rain of desire, she came to me and pricked me with spears of rejection. The smell of her. I chased her across eternity, a wanderer by the name of a woman. There I saw her. There in the rim of my sight. There in the distance. There at McCracken's the Butcher's. Just past the ring road. Next to the hill. As you're going into town, for round, tasty offcuts and tins. part of the show where I'm afraid I'm going to destroy all theatrical illusions I may have built up, because after half an hour of running around, doing lots of voices, I'm pretty knackered. Okay? So I'm just going to sit out the next 5 minutes and have a quick drink. Not as quick as this one, though. And what I've got to do is, while I just sit and wait here, get my breath back, I'll provide some video entertainment, okay? So what I've done is, I've performed an old sketch of mine in front of the video cameras. I did this earlier on in here, and I'm just going to play back that sketch and just let you get on with it, okay? It's a witty pastiche of an old television cookery program. All right, that's the setup. I don't know if it's too radical for too many people, but so lock the doors, you can't go out. Okay? So, here's the videotape, okay? And I'll just plug it in. I'll just set up the video recorder and put it in. And so, my love, you sit at home and hear my voice read out the scores. The teleprinter chirrups and the stadium roars. Actually, I better just explain one or two things here. This is an old program I taped over. It was a recording of a musical that was on last week, the Frank Boff story. The cookery sketch starts straight after this song, okay? So just keep the player running and we'll go straight into the cookery sketch, okay? Sorry about this. But wait, my love, you know this job is much more than I can stand. I've had it through with fronting grandstand. Ching, ching, ching. Ken Hom's Chinese Cooking. Chicken ching, 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 ching. Starring Ken Hom. Chicken ching, 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 chong, chong, sui. Hello, my name's Ken Hom. I'm Chinese. Or, if you're listening at home in stereotype, ha, Chinese! I'd like to welcome you to the world of Chinese cooking. There'll be plenty of surprises in store and lots of tasty dishes. So to begin with, move across kitchen, here's something special. I'm sorry. I misread the auto cue. So to begin with, here's something special. It's one of my favorite dishes, and I hope it's one of your favorites. It's called stir-fried voice of politician. We Chinese consider the voice of the politician to be a delicacy, and I hope will very often kill or maim people to get one. But you must be careful when choosing your voices. So yesterday, when I went to the voice market, I took along with me an expert smile and pause for 3 seconds. I took along with me an expert. Well, here I am at the voice market yesterday. And here to tell us all about politicians' voices is my old friend, John Cole. Hello, John. Oh, hello there. Do you have any useful tips for us this evening? Oh yes, you can get today been a particularly good day for voices, and you can get 1 or 2 bargains if you shop or buy. How about this one here? This is Raw Chancellor Exchequer. It's quite a fatty little number and does have a tendency to turn on it. Quite right, son. In a rather comfortable, very well, thank you. How about some market visitors? Do you have anything a bit more upmarket for us, John? Well, how about this one here? This is the premier voice, Thatcher a la creme. More popular in the south than anywhere else. Quite an acquired taste. You taste very, very strong indeed. I'll make your pipe loud and clear, and then I'll suddenly... Not a very savory voice, is it? Do you have anything a bit more red-blooded for us? Oh, wait, blooded is an opposite term indeed. This here, this beauty is the roast kinnock. His sentences are a bit difficult to swallow, but it is a voice that's happy to stew in its own juice. We'll have to cut it off ourselves, so stand by with the cleaver. We, in the name of God, cannot and will not, whether in the past, or in the present, or in the future subjunctive, by, with, or from, above, amas, amat, and cut it, now, not never, badger sizzling in a pot. Which are added the skinned and gutted Nigel Lawson and the chopped kinnock. We're now going to marinate this in half a pint of Roy Jenkins, a rich, plummy voice, ideal for small parties. Gargle, gargle, national reorientation. Gargle, SLDLPLD. Speech defect, gargle, gargle, gargle. Now add to this some Douglas Hurd. It's a bit difficult to get the real voice, so I'm using the spitting image Douglas Hurd.
That's it.
Must be careful not to confuse this voice with Fuzzy Bear. It sounds roughly the same. Oh, Michael Barrett's gone. Nationwide must still go on. I'm terribly sorry, I better explain. At this point, there was a fault in the recording mechanism of the video. And some of the Frank Boff musical was not rubbed out. I'm sorry about that. The Ken Hong sketch was used straight after this song. I don't know if you want to hear this song. This is all about how he's chosen to front Nationwide. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll just rewind it. We'll go through the song and say it back into the Ken Hong sketch, okay? Fuzzy Bear and the Muppets, Susan. Though Michael Barrett's gone, Nationwide must still go on. We need a famous face to come and fill his place. But who shall we have? Stuart Hall? No, not at all. Your Scully? Not your Nully. Bob Wellings? And not in these dwellings. Julian Pettifer? Hey, I've never even heard of her. It's a he. Oh, silly me. There's only one man good enough. So sad for Frank Boff. There's only one man good enough. So sad for Frank Boff. Frank Boff. Frank. Okay, now we're going to add a few more voices. Two answers of David Steele. Oh, Kenneth, put me down, it hurts. Why don't you take him on instead? Three answers of Tony Benn. Which is quite preposterous. There are too many issues in this thing. Some old spices like Dennis Healy. Come on, Kenneth. They're funny, don't they like me? And James Callahan. I say this to you without panic. Quite bluntly, any fear being regarded as a good Prime Minister. And finally, some Robert McLennan. And now we're ready to Selena. What was that? I don't know, it sounded as if it was coming from over there. Selena. There it is again. I'll just see what it is. Selena. Oh, Kenneth, we've got a problem. A hole has appeared in the videotape and all the Frank Boff story is seeping through. Just listen. I just met a girl called Selena. Oh my God, what are we going to do? Don't leave me, Ken. I don't think I can hold this musical back much longer. And suddenly it's clear. Breakfast time's the time to appear. The stir fry is in danger. Oh no, my lovely dish is being contaminated. Just listen. And here's a football result just in. Academicals too. Losing weather coming up at 8. Oh. Run now, Kenneth. Oh, there's still time. Run, you're young. Forget about me. I'm in a good life. I'm changing into Frank Boff. John, what's happening to you? Looks up, sees the tidal wave of Frank Boff musical approaching and gets swept off to unnecessary death. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread it. What's happening to me? Who am I? Am I John Cole or will I be introducing this week's birthday guest? Brandon Crimmins after the news and the rest. Two personalities locked in bitter struggle within me. The horror. Only one thing for it, must fight back with my own musical. John Cole, superstar, the man with the mouth like a
a treacle jar. It's no use. It's not good enough to hold back the final chorus. Frank Boff goes to Hollywood. Ow, ow, ow. Relax, don't do it when you interview it. Relax, don't do it. We're on BBC One. There's only one thing for it. It'll kill me but save mankind. I'll have to snap the videotape in two. Here goes. This is John Paul, the 9 o'clock news. Out of the darkness, out of the winds, out of the ordinary, outrageous and outspoken, he steps forward, ignoring the cheers that greet his appearance. He's got to look good, he's got to look mean, because he's an alternative comedian, and he's angry. Oh, how he stares at the crowd, not smiling but scowling, not waving but frowning. He starts his routine. He opens his mouth and lets out a belch. A deft lift of the leg and out comes a fart. A carefully arched gob across the stage adds to the exquisite refinement. He's got to look smart, he's got to look neat. His agent's here and someone from Channel 4. Fame is just around the checkbook. And here come the jokes. Margaret Thatcher, eh? Margaret Thatcher? She's not a very good Prime Minister. Oh! Most land. You've got to be careful, got to pick the right issues, go for big topics. Unemployment, America, the Falklands, be more daring, Northern Ireland, what a scream, death, what a laugh, nuclear war, a hand in stitches, Auschwitz. Oh, wait a minute, has he gone too far? Can we beat of Auschwitz, or is that going over the top? Oh, so what, sod them. He's an alternative comedian. He doesn't have to be funny, but he needs the money. So what's he to do? What's he to say? There's only one word to. Can he? Yes, go on, say it, say that beautiful, magically sumptuous word, guaranteed to bring 1,000 yelping faces, 1,000 cries of more, please, more from a student-peppered audience. And he does. He says, fuck. Oh! The sheer passionate frenzy from the audience. The laughter reaches an erotic intensity of almost epileptic proportions. Grown men weep as the face of 100,000 sitting room. Oh my, isn't he cute? From 100,000 brain-starved, brain-dead grannies and parents. 3 theatres book him. His record sales 1 million. He's given his own TV series. He's an alternative comedian. So he says fuck again. Everybody loves him. He writes for Rowan Atkinson. He writes for Rick Bale. He writes the whole of Channel 4. He does some Tesco commercials. There's no stopping him now. He takes out his penis sketches. He talks about pubic hair. He talks about sex. It's never been done before, and all new sex happened. His stage is littered with a heap of discarded taboos and used condom jokes. Rejoice in the freedom, unshackled in mission, innuendos too subtle. Let's have some single entendres. He's an alternative comedian, and he's getting angrier. The laughter increases. He kicks a man's teeth in. The audience shout, brilliant! Pausing only to read the reviews in tomorrow's papers. Outrageous and offensive. He bit my arm off. I loved it. Shit is the front row. And is the upper circle. They leave him everything in their wills. But they will pay a fortune to see this alternative comedian performing his alternative to comedy. Chronicle of the stage. Several unique names stand out for particular consideration, but none more so, I imagine, than my special guest this evening. I only want to mention his name, Dennis O'Rourke. And already a smile of anticipation appears on the lips of those aficionados in the audience. Yes, Dennis, a living legend, is with us tonight. His performances can be measured in the tens of thousands. His engagements have taken him to every major theatre in Europe. And yes, to most of us, he still remains unknown. Why is that? The reason is simple, some would say banal. Crippled 14 years ago by chronic shyness, Dennis can perform now only in his dressing room. Undaunted by
by so severe an obstacle to a juggler of Dennis's high caliber. He has persevered and has transformed the nation's network of theatre dressing rooms and props cupboards into an alternative cabaret circuit of no mean significance. Hailed now by Time Out magazine as, quote, the only true exponent of fringe theatre, Dennis will perform for us this evening in a small room behind this set. He has relaxed his normally stringent conditions and will allow one member of the audience, and one alone, to come and watch him perform. So do I have any volunteers? Or do I have to pick with David? Any brave volunteers to see Dennis in action? Ladies and gentlemen, silence please as Capital Showtime goes backstage, explores a world of theatre, different though simultaneous to our own. Hello, Dennis.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
This is David.
Hello, David. Nice to meet you.
Dennis, what are you going to do for us tonight?
Well, tonight I'm going to juggle 3 perfectly ordinary household kitchens.
That's quite unbelievable. I can't wait to see it.
Okay, well, here we go then. I throw into the air 1 kitchen. 2 kitchens.
This is amazing.
3 kitchens. I'm now down to 2 kitchens. Well, carry on. I'm now going to juggle 2 kitchens and a fully grown human being. For this, I require the services of a volunteer. Hello, David.
Well, this is quite amazing. It's a shame you can't see this. Dennis is now picking David up with his left hand, throwing him onto his right hand, all the while keeping the kitchens in the air. And now David's in the air as well. David, what does it feel like?
I keep banging my head off a fridge.
For Dennis O'Neill, the shy juggler. And now, Margaret Thatcher being swallowed by a giant pike. What a lovely day last spring. 15 men on a dead man's chest. No, and a bottle of rum. Won't let you down, baby. We're gonna keep you up. Dennis! Dennis! No!
Showtime! Starring Kim Theft, the comedian who's slightly disturbed. And his show this evening is introduced by the Kevin Shrapnel Dancers. He may be neurotic and quasi-psychotic, but don't be perturbed. He's only slightly disturbed. Please, Kim Theft, Kim Theft. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Ken Theft. Hello. And I'd like to welcome you all to my show. And you're having a good time moving right on now. Here to get the show off onto the road without a do anymore. To sing a popular Julie Andrews favourite, my old friend, Pope John Paul II. Thank you very much. Hello, Oxford. Everybody clap your hands and sing this song. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is loud enough, think be quite precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Only I preach against the modern curse of sexual liberation, but no one wants to listen to my bad pronunciation. I dogmatize unordered lies from Rome to Rosnachosis. That is a small village outside Gdansk. I'm super cool and populistic, ethically cautious. Thank you, Paul. Good luck with the encyclical. Now, it's time for the stand-up comedy routine. Yes, settle down now, madam, settle down. How many politicians does it take to change a light bulb? I think we ought to have the full facts before I can answer that one. How many residential social workers does it take to change a light bulb? It's not the light bulb that's changing, it's the system. How many passes of the buck does it take to change a light bulb? You tell me. How many jokes will it take to change the bloody light bulb? Settle honestly now, down, Mrs. Settle honestly. My wife, I won't say my wife's ugly. The last time I told that joke, someone laughed so loudly she quite literally turned into a table. I hope I haven't offended any women in the audience. I'd like to think I'm as non-sexist as the next man. My life used to be full of non-sequiturs, but now I don't touch a drop. Simple, honestly now, missus, there's more. How can you tell when there's been an anally retentive elephant in your fridge? It'll be the one sitting over near the aubergine. Did you hear the one about the man who tried to cross a schizophrenic? You have to think twice about that one. Not about that one. Yes. Mrs. Honestly, yes. There was an Englishman, an Irishman, and a large packet of Toblerone. All walking down the street. And the Irishman said to the Englishman, "Why is that large packet of Toblerone walking down the street?" And the Englishman said, "Because its bite's got a puncture." Knock, knock, who's there? An amnesiac, who? Knock, knock. Knock, knock, who's there? A dyslexic, a dollar-skex, how?
I tend to make a lot of generalizations. I think we all do. But why this constant need for rhetorical questions? Ladies and gentlemen, there are two golden rules of comedy. Rule number one is always leave your audience wanting more. Thank you very much. Now, my second special guest from that hit comedy duo, Cannon and Ball, Mr. Tom Cannon. You won't know me. Really? No. Give over. Oh, thank you very much. And now, it's impressions time. To begin with, an old favourite, capital letter P. Hello. Moving right on now. Your friend and mine, capital letter R. Hello. Glasnost, ladies and gentlemen, we're forever trying to cement relations with the Soviets. So here, for the benefit of our Russian friends, is capital letter R in Cyrillic. Hello. Pressing right ahead now, a much more difficult one, a diphthong. For this, I require the services of a volunteer. You, please come here. What's your name? That really is a name. Stop that living. And what subject do you do? History. Ladies and gentlemen, during that pause, Leo and I were impersonating the diphthong I, as in the Latin genitive singular, patries, or pertaining to the native land. Thank you very much. The final impression, I've often wondered what it would sound like if Frank Sinatra met capital letter Q. I think it would go a little bit like this. That's why the ladies are tramp. And now we end this brief contretemps with reality with the only closing song in this show. Now, the end is near, so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll state my case of which I'm certain I've lived a life that's full. I travel each and every night. My Lord, my journey, I did it. Yes, the green times. I'm sure you knew. When I bit off, more than I could chew, but through it all was I ate it up, and spat it out, and threw it all, and eased it down. Ladies and gentlemen, breathe out. And did it my way. Thank you.
5 minutes, we haven't got him done yet. Where is he, by the way? Where's the politician? Bring on the politician. Voters. Opposition. Leader. Just sit down there, Sir Nigel. Okay. Got him sitting. Let's get him ready. To start with, bring on the ego. Open the doors, Fred. The big ones as well. Okay, back run, Fred. Back. Okay, it's over him. Electorate. Determination. Okay, lower it gently, Fred. Gently, and let it drop. Thomas, when I became Pro Secretary, I made damn sure. When I became the House of Order, when I became President the first time, when I died the week, when I. Right, that seems to be working. Okay, let's put the makeup on him now. To start with, let's oil him. Right, that's him slimy enough. Sincerity, where's the sincerity? Oh, there it is. I'll just paste it on. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. No, honestly, I really appreciate it. Oh, Fred, I found some personality down here. You won't be needing that. Can you just put it in the bin along with a mind of his own? So, Nigel, time to get your tongue smooth now, okay? Just open wide. Of course I care about my unemployment. What if there were an easy answer? Okay. Right, so Nigel, I want to do some voice checks for you now. So to begin with, a very simple one. In your own time, could you please be condescending? Come, Sir Alistair. I'm surprised that someone as knowledgeable as you could ask such a simplistic question. Okay, just to check the levels at the back. Again, in your own time, could you please be vague? Well, yes and no. I think that all depends what you mean when you ask me if our policies are having a disastrous effect on the economy. If by disastrous you mean beneficial. Then I think I would say yes. If by disastrous you meant causing disaster. Then I think I would propose to lie. Indulging in minor semantic qualification. Okay, I think we're ready to roll. So we have the word bits are standing by and politician interview 3, 2, 1. Oh yes, but before I go on to answer that, I'm going to just avoid the question. By making a gratuitous attack upon my opponent. Having done that, I would like to say that I'm not trying to pad out my answer by adding a string of parenthetical remarks. There is, of course, no need to. Moving further and further away from the beginning of my sentence, I would like to say that there is no way we can be diverted from our current course of action. I think we've got to look at this in a long-term perspective. From our midterm slump. Oh my God, he's talking crap. What are they going to do? And I think I said this. Can we get everyone down here and help shovel up this mess? Oh no, he's breaking loose. And I. Come on, can we get everyone down here? Oh no, what's happening to him? He's inflating. He's filling with hot air. We're going to have to deflate him. I've got this needle here. Here goes. And I hope that answers your question, Sir Rupert.